All right, welcome to Slow Flow Vinyasa. Today we'll work through a series that will focus on opening the front of the body, so quadriceps, shoulders, abdomen. What I'd recommend having in terms of props would be a blanket, especially if your knees are feeling tender, because the knee will be placing down on the mat and putting a little bit of weight on it. And the other prop that I always love to have is a block, and in place of a block, if you don't have that, you could use a couple of hardback books. I am going to start out in a hero's pose, Virasana. So placing the block between the ankles, or the books between the ankles, it just helps alleviate some weight off of the heels. I twisted my ankle the other day, so I need a little bit of extra height. And this is, I feel like, a great lesson and a humbling experience. And one of the underpinnings of our yoga practice is the concept of non-attachment, vairagya in Sanskrit. And it's one of the main underpinnings of our yoga practice. And one of the reasons why I love yoga so much is that it's not just a physical practice, it's a philosophy, it's a spirituality, it's a holistic approach to integrating all the things that we do in our life to help us be our best selves. And learning humility and non-attachment is absolutely one of those main concepts that allows us to integrate all of our lessons as they come up, challenges, setbacks, perceived failures, even successes. So you'll see me making some modifications. I invite you to do the same, and know that your body changes every day, and it's okay. It's part of being human, and it's a good thing. So find that first comfortable seat. You're going to take something underneath the sit bones, like blocks or hardback books. You could even bunch up some blankets and stick it in between the ankles to provide a little bit more height for the sit bones. And then we'll place the palms face down on the thighs. We'll close the eyes here and take a couple of breaths just to start to settle the body, settle the mind, arriving into the practice, arriving into this present moment. And start to become aware of the breath. Inhale through the nose, feel it moving down the back of the throat, feel the breath expand across the rib cage and into the abdomen. See if you can take that same pathway on your exhalation up the sternum, back of the throat, out through the nose. Allow your shoulders to relax. Notice where your head is in space. If it's leaning forward of your shoulders, can you shift it back? Grow tall through the spine, root down through the sit bones. Let's take about 3 more breaths. And start to walk the fingertips back behind the feet, so you're leaning a little bit more weight back into the sit bones. And then press down through the tops of the feet and the fingertips. Can you scoop the tailbone up and under, so you're pressing the quadriceps and the belly and the chest towards the ceiling. And then exhale, set the sit bones back down. My kitty thinks I'm in jungle gym as usual. I'll sit back onto the hips and take a big breath in. And a big breath out. One more time, fingertips behind the feet, leaning back. Weight into the hands and the tops of the feet. Lift the hips up. You can squeeze and scoop the glutes under. Lifting up through the chest and the quadriceps. And then exhale, release back down. And we'll come forward to hands and knees for just a moment. So this is where I would recommend taking a blanket underneath the knees if you find that kind of support helpful. I certainly do. We don't get any brownie points for being heroes and adding undue stress to our knees. So we'll come to a tabletop shape. Stand up on the knees, bring your hands to your heart. Big breath in here. Big breath out. Lean a little bit more weight onto that left knee, top of the left foot, and bring that right foot forward so you're in this lunge. And just take a moment here to kind of shift back and forth so you can sink the hips low. You can allow the knee to move forward of the ankle a few inches, that's okay, and then we'll shift back. So you're just kind of sussing out your hips, your thighs, the joints, the knees, the hips, the ankles. Notice how all that's feeling. Good. And then we'll start to extend the arms forward, straight out of the shoulder socket, like you're reaching for the wall or the space in front of you, biceps alongside the ears, and you can bring the belly onto that right thigh. Take the fingertips down towards the floor. We're going to start to trace circles with the arms. And so as the arms reach back behind you, lift the chest, rotate the palms up towards the ceiling. You're opening the heart. Begin to extend the arms up towards the ceiling. That's a full circle. We'll take it twice more. Arms reach forward. Keep that neck neutral. Fingertips graze the floor. Pull the hands back behind you. Rotate the palms upward. Keep finding that circle. So one more time all the way through. Good. And then the hands come down. Frame your right foot. Make a little bit more space for that left quadricep by curling the left toes under, lift the left knee, and then wiggle that left foot back in space. Then set the left knee back down. So you have a longer lower lunge now. We'll start to shift back and forth into half Hanuman, lengthening out through the right leg. The hips move back over that left knee. Shift back into that low lunge, bend the right knee. Twice more, back and forth. So the next time you shift those hips back, press down through that right heel, flex the right toes towards the face. Notice any sensation along the back of the right leg. Deep breath in. And we're staying lifted here in the heart, a neutral spine, and just start to point and flex through that right foot. Mobilize the right ankle. Notice how the foot feels. Find your breath. Next time those right toes flex towards your face, pause there and see if you can wave the right foot side to side. It can be a minuscule amount. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of rotation, but stay active through that right heel. You're continuing to press down as you move your toes right to left. A couple more times. And then walk those hands back forward, top of the mat, bend that right knee. Really sink into the hips as much as you're able. So I'll give you some options here to add on to this low lunge. You could simply start by bending that left heel towards the left glute. You're squeezing the left heel towards the left glute. You can stay here just like this. It's a great place to work, building strength in the hamstring and the glute and opening the front of the left thigh. If you want a little bit more across the chest and the belly, press down through your left hand, rotate the right arm out to the side, and then reach back towards that left ankle. Now the hand might easily catch a hold of the top of the ankle, or you might just be reaching through space, maybe gazing back at the foot and seeing what kind of space is there. Whether you bind or not, don't worry about being attached to that bind. But if you do have a hold of the ankle, you can pull the heel towards the glute. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And we'll slowly release. So 2 hands back to the top of the mat. Let that left foot come back down. And then we'll step our way back to tabletop. Right knee meets the left knee. Plant the palms. Extend your left foot behind you now. So we just switched legs. Left foot extending behind you. And then bring that right foot behind you. So it's kind of like you're kickstanding the right foot out to the right side of the mat. Spin onto the sole of the left foot. Extend the left arm skyward. You're in the supported Vashisthasana. And then float that left leg. Left hip stacking on top of the right hip. Flex the toes towards the face. Deep breath in. And your breath out. Bend that left knee in towards the chest. Reach down with your left hand. Tap the outer left ankle. Inhale, re-extend both arm and leg. And then again, hug that knee into the chest. Tap the outer ankle. One more time to extend. And then this next time, as you hug the knee into the chest, maybe you reach down and bind the hand to the ankle. If you're reaching the hand to the ankle and you've got a hold of that, you can start to kick that left heel behind you towards the glute, opening up across the front of the left hip flexor, quadriceps, and chest. So stay active in that left leg. Big breath in, kick into the hands. On your exhale, slowly release back to tabletop. Plant your palms, prepare for your first downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, slightly externally rotate the hands so you're broadening across the chest and the upper back. Curling the toes under, begin to lift the hips. Relax your head. Nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. So I'm going to leave my blanket as it is on my mat throughout the entire practice. Feel free to do the same if you're using it for padding. But if it bothers you, feel free to move it out of the way. Let's inhale, shift forward, and find a brief pause in our high plank. On your exhale, set those knees down. Come to the tops of the feet, all the way down onto the belly. Curl the chin in, let the forehead rest. Take your arms down alongside your body. Let the palms face the floor and the thumbs turn outward. On your breath in, stretch the feet back, lift up through the heart and the crown of the head. Find that nice long spine. You can use the hands to provide a little bit of traction into the floor as you stretch the feet back and the crown of the head forward. One more breath. And on your exhale, palms underneath the shoulders, press up to hands and knees. Curling toes under, downward facing dog. And take your time here in the second downward facing dog to bend the knees right and left if you like. Relax the shoulders, relax the head. And 2 more breaths here. Really root through both of your palms and all 10 fingertips. Take an inhale breath, stretch the right leg up and back. And then we'll begin to hug that right knee into the chest, transitioning right foot up between the hands. Plant that right foot. Reach that right hand to the upper outer corner of the right side of your mat, and start to shift the weight into that right foot. Float the left foot up into the air, then open that left hip on top of the right hip. So you're finding this supported half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Left arm can begin to extend towards the ceiling, and you're balancing on your right foot, stabilizing with your right fingertips. Now, same thing we did on our knee. We're going to exhale, bend that left knee in towards the chest, reach back with the left hand, tap the outer ankle. Inhale, re-extend both hand and arm. Exhale, bend and tap. Inhale, re-extend. On your exhale, come to the top of your mat into a forward fold. That left foot meets the right. Square the shoulders, square the hips. Relax into Uttanasana. This is your forward fold. You can bend the knees right to left. Let the weight of the head reach down towards the floor. Sway the body a little bit side to side if that feels good. And continuing on, inhale for a halfway lift. Bend a little bit into the right knee. Move all of the weight into that right foot. Hug that left heel towards the left glute like you're a little flamingo here, balancing at the top of your mat. See if you can reach back, catch a hold of that left ankle. Okay, if you lose your balance here, that's okay. Lose your balance, let your left foot come back down. Maybe you try it again. Now I'll offer you the attempt of standing up on your right foot, balancing the weight there while binding left hand to left ankle. And I find it helps with the balance to really focus my gaze on one spot and bring my right hand to my heart. Once I'm stable here on the right foot, square the shoulders and hips forward. You can just continue to work the balance and open the left quadricep in this shape. But if you'd like to move on, maybe you turn that hand inside of the left ankle, palms facing upward, rebind. And then you can start to kick the foot into the hand, leaning the heart forward. As you kick, the heart becomes more and more forward. And then finally, you might extend your right arm out in front of you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We'll come back to that standing upright balance, hand at the heart. Release the bind, but keep that left heel hugging in towards the glute. Two hands meet at heart center. Bend a little bit into your right knee. Extend that left foot back behind you, plant the sole of the foot. And then maybe you widen your feet out to the sides of your mat so you feel more stable and grounded in this stance. Sole of that left foot plugging all the way down. It's about 45 degrees towards the top of your mat. Extend your arms back behind you. Deep breath in. And your breath out, you can choose to bind, interlace the fingers to the webbing, stretch the knuckles down towards your back left heel. If that's too much on the shoulders, take your hands, make them into fists. Take the fists together behind the low back and the elbows out wide. This is what it looks like from behind. Either way, inhale, lift up through the heart. Tuck that tailbone down and under. Keep a nice, long spine as you hinge at the hips and forward fold. Relax your forehead towards your shin. Hands frame your right foot. Release that bind. Just take a few deep breaths here. Pull that right hip back and up. Left hip moves down and forward and stay plugged in and rooted through both feet. One more deep breath. Now we'll take a quarter turn to our left. So we're coming into a wide-legged forward fold at the center of the mat. Bring your feet to parallel. Just start by bringing your palms underneath your shoulders, neutral spine, halfway lift. And maybe this is where you stay because this is what feels appropriate to your low back and your hamstrings. But if it feels like you could move forward, bending the elbows, relaxing the head down between the feet, you could also walk the hands in between the feet. Wrist underneath elbows like you have chaturanga arms. Shifting a little bit of weight towards the ball end of the feet. Again, if you feel like you're really rounded in the upper back, you stay with the palms underneath the shoulders and finding that neutral spine until the back body opens up for you on its own without force. This is an opportunity to practice vairagya, your ability to cultivate non-attachment to the outcome. Stay connected to your breath. One more inhale and exhale. If your hands are still between your feet, walk them forward. Find that halfway lift with me. And exhale, we'll take another quarter turn to the left. You'll wind up facing the back of your mat. We'll come to hands and knees. Back to that same shape we started in, sitting back in hero's pose. And if you need to gather anything between the ankles, go ahead and do so. Your feet and your ankles might be starting to warm up, so perhaps you don't need as much height, but perhaps you do. Palms face down, close the eyes, shift the shoulders over the hips, grow tall through the crown. Deep breath in, deep breath out. 3 deep breaths here. Fingertips walk behind you. Press down into your hands, tops of the feet, lift the hips, press the chest and the quadriceps towards the ceiling. And then exhale, set the hips back down, come back to your upright seat, Virasana, Hero's Pose. Breath in, breath out. And one more time, hands walk behind you, scoop the tailbone under, move it towards the backs of the knees as you lift the belly and chest towards the ceiling. Breath in, breath out. Slowly set the hips back down. If you have something in between the ankles, you can set that off to the side. We'll rise up to our knees, hands meeting at the heart. Shift the weight onto the right knee and the right foot. Start to step that left foot forward. So you start out on this 290-degree angle shaped with the feet. The right hip stacking on top of the right knee, shoulder, knee, hip in one line. And then from there, just move back and forth, suss out that ankle joint, the knee joint, the hip joint, the muscles that surround the joints. I want you to notice any differences from right to left, and I'd like you to also notice any sounds, any snaps or crackles or pops through the joint. It's not a bad thing. Just become aware of how your body speaks to you. Now we'll add the arms. So as you lean forward, you can allow your hips to draw down. Extend the arms straight out of the shoulders. Reach to that space in front of you. Let the palms face one another. Let the belly come towards that left thigh. Start to draw that circle of fingertips down towards the floor. Lift up through the chest as you reach the hands behind you. Rotate the palms upward. And then add the arms towards the ceiling. Continue that circle twice more, arms forward, belly towards the thigh, fingertips graze the floor. Lean back, rotate the palms upward. One more full circle. Use your breath. Next time the hands come down towards the floor, pause there. And make a little bit more space for that right quadricep and hip flexor by curling the toes. Lift that right knee, wiggle the foot back in space. Then reset the knee, bend the left knee nice and deep. Start to shift back and forth into half Hanuman. So move the hips back over that right knee, lengthen out through the left leg. And just find that neutral spine here. Relax the back of the neck as you shift back and forth into this lunge and half Hanuman. Twice more. The next time the hips move back, over the right knee, pause there. Press down through your left heel. Lift up through your heart. You stay on your fingertips. Neutral spine. And then start to point and flex the left toes. Big breath in. Big breath out. Notice how your left ankle feels. How mobile is it? Can you get your left toes to touch the mat, or do they hover away? Just notice where your foot is in space. Next time those toes flex towards the face, pause there, hold that, press down through the left heel, and then start to move the left foot side to side, right to left. Let's rebend that left knee, feel the sole of the left foot. Walk your hands forward. Let your hips draw down. Remember, this is choose your own adventure, so feel free to pause anywhere along the way. You can just start by hugging that right heel towards the right glute, rolling towards the quadricep insert of the right leg. So you're not on the patella, you're not right on that bony knee joint, you're just above it. You can stay there just like that, or you can press down through the right palm, rotate the left arm out to the left side, and then stretch it back behind you. And you might just stretch the hand back in space, or you might find that your hand catches a hold of the right ankle quite easily. If that bind is happening, just give your ankle a little pull towards your glute. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Nice and slow, we'll unwind, release that. Plant both hands at the top of your mat. Come to tabletop. Left knee meets the right. Now extend the right leg behind us. And move that left foot out to the left side off of your mat so it's like a little kickstand behind you as you roll the right hip on top of the left hip, right shoulder on top of the left shoulder. Extend the right arm towards the sky. Float that right leg, flex the toes towards the face. Deep breath in. Your breath out, hug the right knee into the chest. Reach the right hand, tap the outer right ankle. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, hug it in, tap. Inhale, extend. This next time I'll give you the opportunity to bind right hand to right ankle. So I find that's easiest to bring the knee into the chest first and then start to open up across the front of the body, pulling the right heel towards the glute. Breathing in across the front of the right chest, hip flexor and quadricep. Kick the foot into the hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Nice and slow release, re-extend. Move back towards tabletop. Your tabletop set up for downward facing dog with intelligence, with purpose. Start with the foundation of the hands. Spread the fingers wide. Feel the entire circumference of the palm pressing down and then curl the toes under. Lift the hips. Adjust the hands and the feet so that you feel stable. Hips rising high. Relaxing the head. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, shift forward, find your high plank. Pause here briefly for a moment. So you can lower all the way down onto the belly with the strength of your arms and your feet, quadriceps engaged, or you can just set those knees down and then lower all the way down onto the belly. Either way, that's where we'll meet. Just like you've done before, curl the chin in, set the forehead down. Extend your arms down alongside the body. Now you might add on here by interlacing the hands behind the low back, stretching the knuckles back towards the heels. If that doesn't feel accessible, just continue to reach the fingertips back towards the feet. Let your palms face one another. Let the thumbs face the floor. Add on the legs, the torso, the chest. Everything lifts. Just the low belly and pelvis are pressing down. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Find that nice long neck. One more inhale to lift. Exhale, palms underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes. Your choice. You can press right up to high plank from here or use the support of your knees, moving through tabletop and then downward facing dog. Let's take 3 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Reset. Reconnect to the breath. Really press into all 10 fingertips, the entire circumference of both palms. Begin to extend that left leg up and back. When you exhale, hug the left knee into the chest as you shift forward, working the left foot between the hands. You're in a supported low lunge briefly, and then just extend that left hand to the upper outer left-hand corner of your mat. Start to shift the weight into your left foot, float the right leg. Start to open the right hip on top of the left, right shoulder on top of the left, extend the right arm. Here you are in Ardha Chandrasana at the back of your mat. Keep rolling the weight to the inner left big toe mound. Then start to bend that right knee in towards the chest. Tap the outer right ankle with the right hand. Again, inhale, extend. Exhale, bend the knee, tap the ankle. Inhale, extend. And your exhale, forward fold at the back of your mat, Uttanasana. Relax your head. Sway the body side to side. Let's inhale to find that halfway lift, transitioning the weight into the left foot, a little bend to the left knee. And then start to pull the right heel towards the right glute. It's like you're a little flamingo here. Now, your choice. You can reach back and bind the right hand to the right ankle, or you could just practice standing up here without the bind. Either way, once you stand upright, can you reach back, catch a hold of that right ankle? And you can start by holding the outer right ankle. Get your bearings here, find your balance. Focus your gaze on something that's not moving. Left hand flat against the heart. Now perhaps this is where you stay because you're working to build strength in the ankle and the knee joint. But if you want to work more towards that flexibility and opening across the front body, take the right hand to the inner right ankle. The palm faces upward. And then you can start to add that kick into the hand. As you move the kick into the hand, the chest starts to move forward. As the chest starts to move forward, you can think about extending the left arm into the space in front of you. Deep breath in wherever you are, it doesn't matter the depth. And breath out, we'll stand tall, still bending that right heel towards the right glute. Release the bind if you have it, but keep the legs as they are. 2 hands meet at the heart. Bending a little bit into the left knee, extend your right foot behind you. Slowly feel the sole of the right foot down. So find that about 45-degree angle with the right foot towards the back of the mat. Work to square the hips and the shoulders. Then extend the arms back. You find the bind or the opening across the front of the chest that suits your needs. You can take the fists together, elbows out wide, or interlace the fingers. Deep breath in, lift the heart. Find that lumbar spine elongating, so think about the tailbone moving down towards the back of the leg. Then hinging from your hip, forward fold over the left long leg. Then start to release the hands down towards the floor. Frame your left foot. Relax the forehead towards the shin. Keep some pressure in the back right foot, so distribute the weight evenly through both feet. And you move that left hip up and back, the right hip down and forward. Last 2 big breaths here. Find an inhale, halfway lift. We're going to take a quarter turn towards the center of the mat to your right. Just a quarter turn, you'll wind up back in that wide-legged forward fold. Remember, everyone's going to find this shape differently in their body, so notice where you feel sensation first. If it's in your spine and your hamstrings and you're rounding your upper back a lot, just stay with this halfway lift, palms underneath your shoulders. Once the back body starts to open up, you can start to walk the hands in between the feet. Relax the forehead more towards the floor. Wherever you are, the most important thing here is to stay connected to your breath. It doesn't matter how far you fold. Stay connected to your breath for 3, 4, 2. Last 1. And from this place in the center of your mat, begin to walk the hands underneath the shoulders and then heel toe your feet together. If your blanket is still there, you might just move it out of the way. Once you come to the center of your mat, feet underneath the hips. Let's uncurl the spine, come to standing. Head comes up last. Take a moment, pause here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhaling, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, trace the midline of your body, forward fold all the way back in. As you reach your fingertips down towards the floor, deep bend in the knees, lift the heels. You'll come into the supported toe squat. So the heels are lifted, the hips are relaxing towards the heels, and the knees are deeply bent. From here, we'll work our way back onto our sits bones, and we'll turn and come to the back body. Start to hug your knees into your chest once you're comfortably relaxed on your back. Set those feet back down. We'll neutralize the spine with a final twist. So first, pressing down through the feet, knees are bent. Lift up the hips, set them off to the right a few inches. Take the knees off to the left. There's a lot of space between the knees. Reach over, grab one of your props. Place it in between the thighs. Relax the shoulders and the back of the head. You can spread the arms out wide like a big capital T, or you can bend the elbows like a cactus shape. The right hip is relaxing on top of the left hip. Breathing in and out through the nose. Two more deep breaths. To move back through center. And before you set up that second side, take a moment to adjust the hips. They're back in line with the shoulders. You're in the center of your mat. Knees are bent, feet are planted. Pause here, breathe in. Breathe out. Now press down into the feet, lift the hips, move them to your left a few inches. Then take the knees off to the right. This time that left knee, left leg is on top. You may or may not need something in between the thighs on this side, but be willing to explore what you do need and support yourself appropriately. Find a comfortable position to rest the arms, whether they're extended or the elbows are bent. Breathe in and out through the nose. Relax your shoulders, relax the back of the head. 3 deep belly breaths here. As you're ready, you can start to move your knees back through center. Take your time to unwind. Adjust the hips back in line with the shoulders. One last shape. We'll hug the knees into the chest and then happy baby. So you can reach the hands somewhere along the backs of the legs. Could be the backs of the knees, could be the feet if that feels accessible. The important thing here is to keep relaxing the shoulders and the neck and the throat. So if the chin is jutting up towards the ceiling, Maybe you grab somewhere lower on the legs. Feel free to move or be still in your happy baby. 3 more breaths here. Begin to think about how you'd like to set up for your Shavasana. There's no real one right way. There are simpler, less propped versions of Shavasana, simply just lying down on your back, extending arms and legs, or you can use a whole plethora of props to support Shavasana. One other way I love to take Shavasana is with legs up the wall or draped over a chair. There's tremendous benefit to elevating the feet above the heart. That's what I'm going to take today. Take some pressure off of my sore ankle, reducing inflammation and stimulating some lymph fluid. If you think you're going to get chilly here, please cover up the body with an extra blanket. If you'd like to block out any extra light, something over the eyes could be quite nice. Start to relax the shoulders away from your ears. Broadening across the chest, you can extend the arms out a little bit wider, let the palms face upward. Let your back teeth part. Let your tongue rest at the bottom palate of your mouth. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale the air out through the teeth, lips, audible sigh. Feeling the whole front body soften into the whole back body. Sense of the earth below you, the sky above you, and the air against your skin.
What are you doing? Hello? Hello? I don't know what you're doing because you don't talk. You don't like me? You should just say so. I finally decided I need to be angry. I'm an angry man, but I want to be angry. So, you don't like me? You should just say so. I just changed my crank setup. Record. Crank. 175. Get new. I had stretched my chain an entire length. The teeth were worn down, and I couldn't use the big ring because it would throw the chain. I could barely pedal. If I went too hard, throw the chain. New record can't be crank chain rings. Chain rings. $235. 53.39. $235 for chain rings. So I put a SRAM crank set on it, bought a bracket. I'm gonna go try it out today, see how it works. Got to stop by River City and grab some more parts. I think we're ready to go. run some. Run in Forest Park using my cross-country cleats. My cross-country shoes with cleats. You're going to need some new shoes. Can I get cross-country shoes? Are you like a lifetime member now? How does that work? Do you have like your retired black badge? Like an honored guest, honored citizen, honored black badge. Anyway,
Begin to deepen
yeah, I
the
think
breath.
I'll go down to Portland Running and check out some cross-country shoes. I really like.
Draw your awareness back to this body, back to this particular time and space that you currently occupy. Start to add movement to fingertips and toes. Take the head right to left slowly. And then when you're ready for more, extend the arms long overhead. Breath in through the length of the body. Bring the legs together, point the toes, stretch up through the fingertips, the arms. Your exhale, bend the knees, roll off to a side. One full breath cycle in fetal position. Take your time rising up to a comfortable seat. Feel free to use any of your props to support that seat. See if you can continue to keep that awareness drawing inward, focusing on the heart space. Just take our hands to the heart, bow the chin into the chest. Breathe in there. Breathe out, honoring your effort and your practice. To all of our teachers, past, present, future, and most importantly, to the teacher within your own heart, your own guru. Namaste.